You're live.
Kristen. Good afternoon, Kristen.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How's everybody?
We're fine. We're cold.
Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it?
Okay, Jan's joining, so I'll call the meeting to order. First item, are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, I'll make the agenda even clearer in a minute. Go ahead, Jan, sorry.
No, I had no changes. Thank you.
Zoom is sensitive. You're showing as the speaker. Are there comments for items that are not on the agenda? Okay. So at the last review meeting, the board voted on two motions. One was to move forward with the plan of record that was presented tonight. And there was, in terms of negotiations with the owners of Maine Coast Seafood. This meeting is about that, not about the bird. So we're not entertaining change and moving in accordance with the vote that we made 2 weeks ago. However, before we go into executive session, there are items of discussion around the plan that are probably in the public domain and are not privileged, and we want to make sure that we adhere to that. So I guess what I'd like to do, Andrew, is for Kristen's benefit as much, if not more than anybody else, but also for ours, because I want you to put it in words, show the plan, but tell us in words what the change is in terms of the potential and the amount of real estate that may be exchanged, swapped, or acquired from the Athanas family. Can you do that?
Certainly. I think, oh, he gave it to me.
Oh, and let him share his screen.
Yep, he's done that. So what we have here, let me pull up the. So all of our proposed easement areas or easement adjustment areas occur in the, I guess we're calling this the south section or the east section of Island Road. The primary areas of impact are along this area here, where we're outside the rot portion, and then we are proposing to improve or address and tie the driveways in these three driveways along this section. So we have 4 anticipated areas that we are going to expand beyond the rot portion. And again, brief summary, the rot portion is the area of land that the road currently sits on, because there's no defined right-of-way through this area. Basically, the surveying standard in Maine references a rot portion, and the rot portion is the area of the road, the side slopes associated with the road, so that you could essentially maintain and rebuild the road back as needed in those locations. So kind of dialing in a little closer, wrong one. We have created 3 little easement plans that identify these areas. Here's the one directly adjacent to the Island Road. Here's the Lobster Pound here. So we have this little section. What we've done is we've hatched the portion in. This brown or whatever, for lack of a better color, this dashed line is the rot portion. And then the hatched area is what we're proposing to adjust or request the easement adjustment in that rot portion. And that will allow us to both put the new edge of road in, a graveled shoulder, and be able to tie that back into the existing slope. So it does appear to extend quite a ways beyond the actual edge of the road, but in reality, there's a gravel shoulder there now. And it's just also flat through that area. That's why the raw portion comes and ties back in to flush. So we just wanted to maintain this easement or hopefully pick up that extra easement to hopefully maintain this in the future. Moving on to the other two, none of these are permanent easement adjustment. These three are temporary construction easements. Once the project is constructed, the town will release these easement areas back to their owners. We just need them for access to be able to make these improvements. But it appears that all the road improvements will be able to be contained within the ROT portion. As of right now, that might be adjusted as we go forward with the designs. But we have identified these three areas in these locations. These two at that U driveway, which are the same owners as the Lobster Pound easement. And the reason we show them so far off the edge is just to make sure we can get construction vehicles in there and access this area without having any worry. The improvements, the land will be put back to its existing condition in and around our improvement areas. And just to show you the third one, it's the driveway. Shoot, I've clipped the name off here, but it's the driveway to the Nolan property, right in this location that accesses that house out on the point here. And that is the same thing where we pushed the easement out. It's a little narrower in this location because we wanted to ensure that we didn't impact the woods along the tree lines and shrubs, and that we stayed outside of the riprap and rock along the edge here. So I just wanted to define that, show this one a little bit narrower. But again, this is a temporary construction easement. That's about 650 square feet. These two are about 1,100 square feet. This one's 1,100. This one's 1,000 square feet. We can tighten those areas up if there's opposition to it, but for right now, I don't think we'll need to address that. And then this one is the large. This is the permanent easement adjustment that we are recommending and hopefully requesting to adjust that rock portion access out to the edge of this dashed red line. Again, that'll give us the ability to put the road in place, do some construction around that, and have the ability in the future to go back and maintain that. Again, here's the edge of the right-of-way is this dashed line, and this is not a real right-of-way. It's a prescribed right-of-way. Basically, it's the 3 rods wide associated from the center line out because there's no clearly defined right-of-way. But the hope is that the value of the land swapped in here is pretty negligible due to the fact that it's within the prescribed right-of-way anyway, so they don't have rights to put much in there, let alone the fact that it's right along the edge of the water, and by the time you do your 25-foot setbacks and whatnot, this area is rather unusable. But those are the easements that I think we wanted to talk about, and I think it comes down to Kristen's advice how to proceed and what we need to do with the easement and town votes and kind of going forward what the next step needs to be.
Kristen, comments, direction, go-dos for us?
You're still on mute.
The agreement part of things on this, in terms of the mechanics is easy. It's purely just easement and construction easement agreements. And so it's really just a matter of going forward and negotiating those, making sure the terms are acceptable to both parties and the legal descriptions are in place, et cetera.
Okay. So can we proceed to a discussion of that, or do we need to do that in private, or do we do it in public?
I think we haven't had any discussion involving me in a while regarding where these discussions are, and not with these exact terms at least. So why don't we move that to an executive session to talk about, and then I think there are some other ancillary issues that the board wanted to talk about too, which we could do in the same session in terms of rights and responsibilities related to this project.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Hey, Andrew, can you kill the screen share?
I just added, Walter, that I agreed with Kirsten's comments.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I'm just thinking a little bit about what Andrew said and yeah, okay. I have a couple questions and I'm not sure they're appropriate for our executive session, but I guess I'll bring them up in executive session. And if Kristen tells me they're not, then when we come out, I can ask those questions.
Super. I'm really conservative about that stuff, so I'm happy to tell you to bring it back out.
I was going to say, from prior experience, I know she won't hesitate to tell you that, John.
And I am too, but I don't want to ask them in public and then have her say, well, you should have asked that in executive session.
Exactly.
All right, can I have a motion to go into an executive session? Owen?
So just briefly for the folks, Walter, do I have this correct? I've generated a secondary meeting. I've taken down all the folks that are participating from the public in this call right now. And I will have all of those individuals exit and make sure it's just the folks for executive session. And then I will send out the Zoom meeting invite to Russ, Julia, Sarah, Chad, and then all the other folks for
I'm sorry?
for once you come out of executive session, we would close this meeting. I think you said you wanted me to set up a follow-on meeting for when we come out of
Well, we
executive
have to,
session.
yes, we have to be in public to adjourn, but.
Yeah,
that's-
and so I just wanted to kind of do a logistical, this is how it would go. Everyone not participating in the executive session would sign off. I would confirm that they're all signed off. You all would enter into executive session. We'd make live stream stop. Once you exit executive session, I would shut this entire meeting down and open up the new meeting to complete the remainder in public. Is
Fine.
that okay? Great. Just making sure I understood.
Well, I move we enter executive session in accordance with Title I, Section 405. Hang on, 6.
DNA.
We actually have two. So we're doing legal,
It's on the agenda.
legal affairs and then there's a personnel issue too.
Well, I think we need to have a separate motion for that.
Okay.
That's
So
my-
Jan, I'm sorry, did you second the motion?
Had you finished, John?
Yeah, I believe in a second, I believe we need, if we're going in for two different reasons, I believe we need two different motions.
So the motion you've made is for section 405, 6E. Is that correct?
Consulting with between the board and the attorney.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, say your name and I.
Beer, aye.
Gaudio, aye.
Right side?
Great. And if folks not on the board or legal counsel or engineer, if you could sign off from the meeting, it would be appreciated.
Yeah, we're going to do another, we're going to cover another issue in the executive session, Owen. When we get there, it doesn't concern you, but it's a personnel issue, so you should hide yourself.
Okay.
Or go away, and I'll text you when you can return.
Works for me.
Do you want that other motion now before we go to
Might as
executive?
well, yep.
Okay. Then I would move that we also go to executive session pursuant to MRS section 4056A, TAC 1, to discuss personnel matters.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Audio, aye.
Beer, aye.
Right side. And Andrew and Kristen, when we get to that point, you guys can go about your day for that personnel thing. It doesn't involve either of you. Let us know when it's just us, Owen. because it's not
Yep.
right now.
Yep, folks are coming off. Jim and Julia. All right, so hang on, let me stop